let's talk about NVIDIA's new Blackwell architecture. Because this is not just your typical yearly upgrade. No, this is a fundamental rewrite of the rules for creating digital worlds. We're talking about a massive shift from just raw brute force to actual artificial intelligence. And trust me, it's going to change everything. So let's dive in and see how this AI-driven future is really being built.
You know, for the longest time, the chase for realism in graphics has been a pretty simple numbers game, right? More transistors, more power, better pictures. But we've kind of hit a wall. Our demand for photorealistic detail is just growing way faster than Moore's Law can keep up. So to take that next giant leap, we don't just need faster hardware anymore. We need smarter hardware. And that's really the core idea behind Blackwell. It's asking, what if the future isn't just about more power, but more intelligence?
All right, so here's the game plan for this explainer. First, we'll talk about this new age of neural rendering. Then, we'll peek inside the Blackwell engine itself. After that, we'll see what this actually means for you, whether you're a gamer or a creator. And finally, we'll look at the absolutely wild future of what's called neural shaders.
Okay, let's kick things off with the big picture. Why this huge change is happening right now. We are, right now, stepping into the age of neural rendering.
So here's the problem in a nutshell. The insane complexity of the worlds we want to see on our screens is just growing way faster than our hardware can handle. And the solution? Well, it's pretty wild. Neural rendering. Instead of using raw power to calculate every single little pixel, the idea is to use AI to intelligently generate most of them. You get even higher quality for just a fraction of the performance cost.
All right, so that brings us to the heart of it all. How in the world did NVIDIA build a GPU designed from the ground up for this new AI-powered reality? Let's take a look at the massive architectural leap that makes Blackwell tick.
Okay, check this out. This is where things get really interesting. We're looking at the basic building block of the GPU, the streaming multiprocessor, or SM. On the left, that's the old ATA architecture, but on the right, that's Blackwell. See how the separate integer cores are now merged with the floating point cores? And look, this is not just some small adjustment. It's a complete redesign, built specifically to speed up the kind of heavy AI work that neurographics depends on.
So one of the biggest headaches with AI is that the models are, well, they're huge. Blackwell's got a clever solution for this, a brand new data format called FP4. The best way to think about it is like a super smart zip file for AI models. It crunches these massive, complex models way down so they can actually run on a graphics card you can buy, not some giant server. And the difference is just, wow, look at this. The old way, using FP16, ate up your memory and was pretty slow. But with this new FP4 format, we're talking about models that use less than half the VRAM and deliver more than double the performance. This is the magic trick that lets you run a monster generative AI model right on your home PC without needing a supercomputer in your basement. And none of this would even be possible without the evolution of NVIDIA's Tensor Cores. Those are the dedicated little AI brains inside the GPU. From when they were first introduced back in the Pascal days to this new 5th generation in Blackwell, we've seen a mind-blowing 32 times increase in performance. This is the engine under the hood that unlocks things like FP4 and really makes this whole neural rendering revolution a reality.
All right, enough with the techie deep dive. That stuff's cool, but what does it actually mean for the games you play and the stuff you create? Let's get to the good part and see how all this translates into real-world performance for you.
Man, the numbers here really do tell the story. I mean, just look at a couple of these. Memory bandwidth on the new RTX 5090. It nearly doubles what the 4090 had, jumping to almost 1,800 gigabytes a second thanks to the new GDDR7 memory. And just look at the RTT flops. That's basically your ray tracing horsepower. It is a colossal jump from the last generation. So the bottom line is, yeah, the raw power is still getting a massive boost.
But here's where the real magic happens, when you combine all that power with AI. This is DLSS 4. The older versions could create one extra frame, which was already amazing. But Blackwell is so powerful and efficient, it can now spit out 3 extra AI-generated frames for every single one the GPU actually renders. That's a kind of performance boost we've just never, ever seen before.
So how on earth does it do that? It's actually pretty brilliant. Your GPU does the hard work of rendering just one frame. Then, a brand new super-fast AI model takes over. It analyzes that frame and the one before it and generates not 1, but 3 completely new frames to stick in between. And, to make sure it all looks perfectly smooth, a new piece of hardware actually paces those frames out perfectly. It's like this perfectly choreographed dance between the hardware and the AI.
And hey, this isn't just about gaming.
If you're a content creator, listen up, because Blackwell is an absolute monster for you too. The RTX 5090 has 3 of these dedicated NVENC encoder engines. That means a video export that took maybe 40 minutes on a 390 is now done in just 10. That's a huge chunk of your day back, letting you create and publish way faster.
Okay, so making things faster is great, for sure. But what if AI could change how we make graphics in the first place? This is where things get truly wild. We're talking about the dawn of neural shaders.
To really get why this is such a big deal, you gotta look back at the history of this stuff. We started with fixed hardware, then got programmable shaders. Then we unified them. In 2018, RTX gave us real-time ray tracing, which was huge. And now, with Blackwell, we are taking the next massive leap. Neural shaders. They're not just a small step forward, they're the next big thing in how we program graphics.
So what in the world is a neural shader? Well, think about it this way. Normally, a developer has to write tons and tons of really complex code to figure out how light should bounce off of, say, a leather chair. With a neural shader, they can just train a small AI model by showing it what that leather chair should look like. The AI figures out a shortcut, an approximation, and then runs that in real time on the tensor cores. It's a total paradigm shift.
And the results, honestly, they're just staggering. Just look at this. The standard material on the left, that takes up 47 megs of your precious VRAM. The RTX neural material on the right not only looks better, it's just 16 megs. You're getting movie-quality stuff running at game speeds using almost a third of the memory. That's insane.
And here's another mind-blowing example. Lighting. It's called Neural Radiance Cache. Instead of killing your performance by tracing every single ray of light as it bounces around a room, the GPU just traces the first bounce. Then, a real-time AI network that's literally learning on the fly as you play infers what all the other bounces would look like. You get this beautiful, complex, realistic lighting for a fraction of the performance cost. So, what's the secret sauce? What makes all this possible? Well, it's this. For the first time ever, new programming tools give developers direct access to those AI tensor cores from any kind of shader. That wall that used to exist between the traditional graphics pipeline and the AI hardware, it's just gone. They're not separate things anymore. They are one and the same. So when you put it all together, this fusion of AI and graphics, it's more than just an upgrade. It feels like a whole new beginning. It opens the door for AI that can create entire worlds on the fly, for physics that are unbelievably realistic, for graphics that we've only ever dreamed of outside of a movie theater. So it really leaves us with this one huge, exciting question to think about. What reality are we going to choose to render next?